You know what makes my blood boil? Watching grown adults tear each other apart online over fake wrestling drama while the real puppet masters sit back and laugh all the way to the bank. And speaking of puppet masters, Linda McMahon just got handed one of the most powerful positions in American government despite having zero qualifications, while we're supposed to sit here and clap like trained seals. But that's not even the worst part of what went down this week. A so-called fan just exposed the toxicity eating our community alive. AEW and TNA are playing footsie while pretending it's revolutionary, and the wrestling world is imploding faster than you can say sports entertainment. If you're not angry yet, you will be. Let's get into it. First up, we need to talk about the elephant in the room that nobody wants to address. A prominent wrestling YouTuber just dropped a 20-minute apology video that's got everyone talking, and honestly, it's about damn time someone in this toxic cesspool we call a community actually took accountability for their actions. For those who missed it, this content creator spent years building a platform by doing what so many wrestling fans do best, being absolutely vile to anyone who disagrees with their opinions. We're talking personal attacks, harassment campaigns, coordinating comment raids on smaller channels, and creating an environment so hostile that people were literally leaving the wrestling fandom because they couldn't handle the abuse. And here's what really gets me, this wasn't some anonymous troll hiding behind a fake account. This was someone with a verified channel, sponsorships, and a legitimate platform. Someone who knew better but chose chaos and clicks over decency and community. The apology itself, surprisingly genuine. They broke down how the algorithm rewards outrage, how they got addicted to the engagement that anger brings, and how they slowly became the very thing they claimed to hate about wrestling discourse. They admitted to targeting specific creators, manipulating their audience into brigade attacks, and creating drama where none existed just to keep their channel growing. But here's my question for you, is an apology enough? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this is where it gets complicated. On one hand, accountability is rare in the wrestling community. Most people double down, play victim, or just disappear and rebrand. At least this person is owning their mistakes and trying to make amends. On the other hand, the damage is done. Creators quit. Mental health suffered. Communities were fractured. Can you really just say sorry and expect everyone to move on? Now let's shift gears to something that should be exciting but somehow feels like another letdown in the making, the AEW TNA collaboration that everyone's treating like it's the second coming of the Monday Night Wars. Look, I want to be excited about this. I really do. Cross-promotional wrestling should be the future. Imagine the dream matches, the storyline possibilities, the fresh matchups we've been begging for. But let me ask you something, how many times have we been here before? How many times have we gotten our hopes up for Forbidden Door moments only to get watered down, half-committed storylines that go nowhere? Here's the reality nobody wants to admit, AEW's partnership with NJPW started with massive potential and has devolved into occasional appearances that feel more like contractual obligations than genuine collaboration. Their Raw acquisition was supposed to revolutionize wrestling, and instead, it's become a dumping ground for underutilized talent that barely gets mentioned on Dynamite. And TNA? Let's be real, TNA has been rebuilding credibility for years after being a punchline for most of the 2010s. They've done incredible work, don't get me wrong, their product is solid, their roster is talented, and they are finally being taken seriously again. But partnering with AEW right now feels less like a power move and more like desperation from both sides. AEW needs fresh matchups because they've burned through most of their dream matches already and their ratings are hemorrhaging viewers week after week. TNA needs the exposure because, despite their quality improvements, they are still struggling to break through the noise in an oversaturated market. Here's a question for the comments, what one match from this potential collaboration would actually make you tune in? Give me your dream AEW vs TNA matchup. And now we get to the part that's got people outside the wrestling bubble finally paying attention, Linda McMahon's appointment and the absolute firestorm of backlash it's generated. Let me be crystal clear about something before the comment section explodes, this isn't about politics. This is about qualifications, accountability, and the wrestling industry's long, dark history finally catching up to people who thought they were untouchable. Linda McMahon was just appointed to a major governmental position overseeing education policy. Let me repeat that, education policy. This is a woman whose educational background consists of running a wrestling company. That's it. No teaching experience. No educational administration experience. No background in curriculum development or educational policy. Nothing. But wait, it gets worse. The appointment comes as multiple lawsuits are actively alleging that WWE, under the McMahon family's leadership, knowingly enabled abuse. We're talking about serious allegations of harassment, assault, and a systemic cover-up culture that protected predators for decades. And before anyone screams innocent until proven guilty in the comments, let me remind you, we have documented evidence of hush money payments. We have testimony from multiple victims. We have a pattern of behavior spanning decades. This isn't speculation, this is documented fact. The wrestling community's response has been predictable. Half the fanbase is defending the McMahons because of nostalgia and brand loyalty, acting like criticizing Linda is somehow disrespecting the Attitude Era. The other half is rightfully outraged that someone with this background is being handed power over our children's education. Here's what bothers me most, the hypocrisy. The same fans who demand accountability from wrestlers who send inappropriate tweets are bending over backward to defend someone credibly accused of enabling abuse because she helped create their childhood entertainment. Let me ask you this, and I really want honest answers in the comments: if this was anyone else with the exact same allegations and exact same lack of qualifications, would you still be defending this appointment? So what does all this mean for wrestling as a whole? We've got a community so toxic that major creators are publicly apologizing for the monster they helped create. We've got promotions desperately trying to create buzz through partnerships that history tells us probably won't deliver on their potential. And we've got the wrestling industry's dark past exploding into mainstream consciousness in ways that can't be ignored anymore. This is our inflection point, folks. The wrestling industry and its fanbase are at a crossroads. We can either continue down this path of toxicity, blind brand loyalty, and turning a blind eye to serious issues, or we can actually demand better behavior from our fellow fans, better storytelling from our promotions, better accountability from the people who've profited off this industry for decades. The choice is ours, but here's the thing: doing nothing is a choice. Staying silent is a choice. Defending the indefensible because of nostalgia is a choice. And those choices have consequences. I want to hear from you. Are you tired of the toxicity? Do you think the AEW TNA collaboration will actually deliver? And how do you feel about the wrestling industry's reckoning finally going mainstream? Drop your honest thoughts below, hit that like button if this video made you think, and share it with someone who needs to hear this message. The wrestling business is broken, and it's going to take all of us to fix it. Let's start today.